In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to set up LinkedIn ad campaign end to end. This is going to be the video for 2026 and beyond where you'll be learning how to set up a LinkedIn campaign, including, setting up the creatives, most importantly, the bidding strategy, audience selection, budget optimization, and pretty much everything that, that you will need to set up a campaign successfully. It will also include connection with Google Tag Manager, mainly because I'll be showing you how to set up conversion tracking. Because if you cannot measure how many leads are you getting from your campaign, it's going to be pointless to even set up a campaign because you will need to know what the true ROI is. So everything will be in this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel and let's get started. All right, I have logged into LinkedIn Campaign Manager. As you can see, it's super easy to actually create an account. If you don't have already, go to ads.linkedin.com and basically, if you are signed in, you just sign in, or you can create an account from here. Once you have created an account, it will ask you to add a credit card on file, and then you're pretty much good to go, right? So I'm assuming that part is already done. This is your campaign dashboard. And it's actually broken down into three areas, right? Number one is your campaigns. That's your top level account structure. Under your campaign, you will have ad sets. And then within each ad set, you will have ads. LinkedIn has actually changed this terminology fairly recently, and this is consistent with Meta ads as well as Google ads, which is fantastic, right? So anyways, what you can do is you can click on create, and then here I'm going to select a new campaign. Now, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to take an example. I want to create a campaign to drive traffic to my website. Specifically on my website, I have a lab where I provide, free systems from, LinkedIn ads to AI Max to Google ads, SEO kit. There's a lot of resources, right? So it's a free resource and I want to drive traffic to it so that way I can help more people out, right? For example, so I'm gonna say this will be let's call it as lab LinkedIn ads traffic campaign, right? So once I do that, the next step is to select your campaign objective. So just to quickly go through these options, awareness is, let's say you are launching a new product and you just want to have maximum reach, right? In this case, you will be using an awareness campaign. The goal is to just reach to many people as possible and then get the word out. Consideration is your middle of the funnel type of objective where you want to drive traffic to your website. So that's website visits. If you want to make people comment or engage with a post or a video or even a company, then engagement would be this one. If you are specifically wanting more video views, then you can use video views as your consideration stage, funnel objective. And then finally, let's say you want to generate leads, then you will go into lead gen. And this is specifically useful when you're using native lead gen form. If you are wanting to drive traffic to a landing page that has a form or a contact form, you will use website conversions. And then let's say you are a business and you want more job applicants, then you will use this objective. So those are the options. I will be selecting website visits, and you have two options over here. In a flexible ad creation, it's basically going to optimize your budget across ads. But then if you are selecting standard ad creation, you have more control over ad set and ad setup. So I'm going to be selecting, standard ad creation over here. And if you select budget optimization, what it will do is it will distribute the budget across different ad sets. So what I mean by that is, let's say at the very top level, you have campaign and then you have multiple ad sets under it. LinkedIn will automatically redistribute your budget within those ad sets. And let's say if one of the ad set is performing better, it will actually allocate more budget towards that ad set. So you will use that when you are experimenting and when when you're not sure, which target audience or which ad creative is going to work out, you will use budget optimization. So in this case, from a campaign start date and end date perspective, you can set this over here. I highly recommend selecting an end date, because it's always best to have control over when your campaigns are ending. Otherwise, it might just be that you will be setting it and forgetting it, and it will just charge your credit card every month. So we don't want to do that. So the best practice is to ideally select an end date. So I'm just going to give it as a month, hit next. And again, there are two options over here. A classic one is when you get full control over everything. It includes objectives, ad formats, and all the settings. An accelerated campaign is when it will just set up the ads using AI, and then it will optimize pretty much everything else. I don't typically recommend starting with an accelerated option until you know for sure that you can heavily depend on LinkedIn's algorithm. A classic one will give you full control everything else. So I'm gonna select classic. The next option is your actual ad sets configuration. Now this is where majority of time needs to be spent, and before even you do that, I highly recommend doing some competitor research, because you got to know who are you targeting, who's your audience, your ideal customer profile, and what sort of like bidding as well as targeting options that you need to select. So on the right side, LinkedIn will give you forecasted results. So in this case, it's 290 million. Obviously, I don't want to select that many people. I'll be spending like crazy amount of money. So I'm going to be realistic over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I'm going to first give it as a name. Let's see. I will say labs ad set. And then I am going to copy the URL over here and then hit save. And what it will do is LinkedIn will analyze based on the landing page. So it has become much smarter. It's similar to Google Ads these days. It's going to like utilize the landing page URL and figure out what type of targeting that we need to use. So anyways, I'm going to select the audience now. This is again extremely important. Again, there are two options over here. One is to manually configure every single thing, which is what I would recommend first, or use auto targeting. So let's do manual first. Again, the third option is actually you can even use LinkedIn's predefined options over here. So in this case, members with a bachelor's degree, members in biotechnology, expertise in Bitcoin, expertise in computers. So they have actually created a few like predefined audiences. If you click on see all, you can see there's a bunch of options in here. Actually, they have like 26 options. So I wouldn't recommend using it. I would say like go with manual targeting. All right, so location is the first option. Again, what you can do is you can target like multiple locations. So United Kingdom, and you can like keep on selecting it, right? So that's one way to do that. The next one is you can even try to exclude. Let's say you're selecting multiple countries, but you want to exclude some of them. You can do that. So let's say in this case, I'm selecting like US. The next option is you can narrow it further. Now, obviously we need to narrow it down because targeting 290 million does not make any sense. So you click on narrow, and then your second layer is your audience attribute, right? So what LinkedIn has done is they have divided these options into two areas. One is your audiences. This is where your owned audience. It can be a list upload. So let's say you can pull something from your CRM, like a CSV export of all your contacts or leads or marketing qualified leads, and you can basically upload it over here, right? You can click on upload a list and you will be able to target them. Or you can even do a company list. LinkedIn is fantastic for company list targeting because we are in B2B space, or most of you will be in B2B space. Again, B2C will also work, but still, let's say you want to generate B2B leads, you can actually upload a list of companies and it will target all the people within that. But don't worry, you can use the narrow option to filter out contacts even more. So what I mean is, let's say you have uploaded like 50 companies and that's equivalent to, let's say, 200,000 contacts over your audience size. You can click on narrow and then you can select audience attributes and let's say job experience, and then you can say job seniorities and you can select senior or manager or director. So you're targeting executive roles or decision makers within those companies. That's how you can narrow it further. But anyways, audience attributes, list option is your first one. Lookalike is basically you build a profile of a larger pool of audience from your core audience. So in this case, let's say you upload your customers. What better way to create a lookalike audience than using a customer list, right? So upload your customer list, then create a lookalike audience, and now LinkedIn will try to find similar customers. That's an awesome tactic, by the way. Predictive is basically LinkedIn will kind of predict that, hey, based on your previous audiences, we might feel like these are the right ones for you, right? Retargeting is, again, you can make use of the audience that are already engaging with you. So people who have visited your company page, people who have converted, people who have viewed or uploaded or interacted with your documents or events, lead gen forms, single image ads or single image post, videos, and even website. So each of these will deserve a dedicated video, so I won't get into it. But anyways, those are your retargeting options. Finally, audience attributes. This is where you will start defining specific parameters. So if you don't have a list, don't worry, you can just click on company and then you can choose company names, right? So you can even choose company category and you have like a bunch of options over here. So Fortune 500, if I select US only, like you can see like from 290 million, it's 18 million now, right? So let's choose that for a second over here, right? I'm gonna say company size is let's say 11 to 50 and 51 to 200, right? That's still pretty big. All right. Then I'm gonna select narrow and I'm gonna say the job experience, job seniority is owner. Now you're talking about 2.5 million. All right. And let's see if there is anything else. Interest in trades, member interest, service interest, application development services, that's fine. Business consulting services, IT services, management consulting, and marketing. Okay, so now you can see like how you can configure your options and try to narrow it down further. You can drill it down even more and keep on going. The sweet spot is between I wouldn't say like you should go below like 50,000 audience size. Anything below that you'll end up paying like extremely high cost per click. So LinkedIn is already showing you like the average cost per click over here, right? So let's say once you have done that, I would recommend clicking enable audience expansion. I also like to recommend like excluding job experience, job seniority, and then excluding like these options. Like in spite of like selecting and being very specific, LinkedIn sometimes still reaches out to like entry level and trainee or unpaid people. Well, if your target audience if you want to reach them, that's fine. But if you don't want to reach them, I would say exclude them, right? Also exclude like enable audience expansion. It doesn't really work. It will just waste your budget. All right, the next and the final step is selecting an ad format. Now keep in mind that once you select a single image ad, the next ad that you create under that ad set has to be similar. So you can't like mix and match between different ad formats. So anyways, I'm going to select single image over here. Tracking parameter, I highly recommend using Google Campaign URL Builder. It's great. That will allow you to collect more data in terms of like, okay, the account ID is this, the YouTube or the source was LinkedIn, the ad set was this, and that way you get more specific data in your Google Analytics account. All right, I also recommend excluding LinkedIn Audience Network. These are third-party publishers, which is again like Google Display Network, and they are pretty much junk. So exclude them. And then this is where you set your budget. So I'm gonna set my, let's say, daily budget as, I don't know, let's say $10. Sometimes LinkedIn will actually force you to spend more. In this case, it's not throwing me any error over here. So this is fine. And then this is where you have like your actual bidding strategy, right? Now, let's say you are driving traffic to your website and the goal is conversions. In that case, you need to optimize your goal for conversions. Well, right now my campaign objective when we selected it, it was website traffic. If you would have selected conversions, it will actually tell you like you need to optimize for conversions. So depending upon what the goal is or the campaign objective is, the optimization goal will change, right? Maximize delivery is fine. And then the only third option is manual bidding. I wouldn't say this is great in today's world. You can rely on the ad platform's algorithm to do its job, but keep a close tab on how things are going. All right, the conversion tracking is broken, so I will show you quickly how to do it. Click on create new conversion. And then you will use the insight tag. So insight tag is basically Meta Pixel or Facebook Pixel back in the day. You click on this, you name the conversion. Let's say in this case, the conversion is email subscriber, for example, right? And then you select, let's say mid funnel is sign up, right? You have other options over here, submitted application, qualified leads, and even purchase, right? So in this case, the mid funnel is sign up, and then you use the dynamic value only when it's a kind of like a purchase and there's a purchase value to it, but typically it's a static value or the same value, and it depends on your cost per lead for your business, right? So I'm gonna say the value is $10 for a lead, and well, let's say $5 for a subscriber. All right, and then clicks is 90 days, views is 90 days, that's all fine. Last touch is all fine. And then this is where you have three options. You can click on website actions, which I don't recommend, or you can use manual conversion setup where you need to select on page load, or you need to like it will determine like when the URL matches. So for example, an example would be, let's say they fill out a form and they always end up on a thank you page. You will use this option, right? I recommend using Tag Manager. So Tag Manager is best because you are managing all your conversion tracking in one place. And I will show you right now what you can do. So you select Google Tag Manager, and what you do is you copy this code, which is your partner tag ID, and then you go to Tag Manager. I'm going to create a new tag over here. I'm going to say LinkedIn conversion tracking email newsletter. Tag configuration would be let's LinkedIn Insight tag. You paste in your Insight tag ID, right? The tag type is LinkedIn Insight. The tag ID which I showed you is this one that you copied, right? And then triggering, when do you want the tag to fire, or when do you officially declare that we got a lead? Now, as I mentioned, it can be a button click. Like for example, I've created a custom trigger when someone clicks on view courses, for example, or someone visits a thank you page. So similarly, you can, or someone downloads a file, right? So depending upon your situation, you can create a trigger. Now, I'm just going to say, in this case, I'm just going to say that whenever someone goes and visits a thank you page, this tag fires, right? And the assumption here is that when someone subscribes to my email on my website, I redirect them to this particular thank you page ending with thank you dash contact us, right? So that's how I will do, and then I'll hit save. And every time, and last thing to make sure is to hit submit and publish. So every time when someone lands on my website over here, say for example, they click on it and then they say, hey, send me the pack, right? And they hit send free downloads, and then this page redirects to thank you for contacting us. That's exactly when the tag or the conversion tag will fire. So that's how you set it up, right? And in this case, you can click on a page load, or you can click on a specific event. So event specific is when something happens, right? So when you do that, you need to select this conversion ID for Tag Manager. Okay, now let's see. Once you do that, the next step is to create this, and you finally configure your ad. So I'm gonna go, it's asking me to save it. I'll do that. All right, this is where you actually create an ad. I'm gonna be very quick with this because this is the most easiest one, and there are a bunch of tools out there to create an ad. You can use any of the AI models to draft text. So I'm gonna click create with draft. Says I need to create a brand kit. I don't have time for that. All right, so it's already trying to create an ad copy for me based on the landing page. So let it do the magic, and LinkedIn will automatically create an ad for you. So let's do that. All right, it's already done. Everything is okay. I'm just going to keep it as it is, and all you need to do is edit this text. You can personalize the text, which is a new functionality over here. And what it does is you can actually add a macro. It's like dynamic value. So in this case, let's say this is a new one actually. Let me show you. So let's say you like this generic ad copy, and then you want to say, hey, I want to target it for let's say a software company over here, right? Let's say it's a software company. The way you do that is you don't need to actually add a dynamic field over here. All you need to do is you need to click on add macro, and then you do company name, right? So let's say if you're building in Amazon, right, you would add a macro. Let's say you're building in IT or marketing, right? You would add a macro called as industry. How cool is that, right? And then it will show you you're building an internet, right? If I do company name Sales Tech Corp, how cool is that? So that's how you add a macro, and you have a few options, job title, industry, and company. I highly recommend using this. So you can create like multiple ads, and you can target or customize it for your target audience. That's a pretty awesome way to increase your conversion rate. It already gave me a generic what do you call, stock image. I'll roll with that, learn more, looks cool, save ad. And that's it, guys. Your entire LinkedIn campaign is ready to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. If you have any comments, let me know in the comment section. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to be adding a bunch of downloadables and starter kits for you. Make sure to check out in the description section. It's free to download. Yeah, if you have any feedback, let me know. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.